Hello and welcome back to The Breakdown. I'm your host, Sandra Babu-Boateng. So today we're diving into something that affects millions of African immigrants here in the U.S., right? Which is, where can you thrive? Which cities offer the best opportunities for jobs, income, entrepreneurship, community, and long-term success? Whether you're moving to the U.S. for the first time or looking for a fresh start in a new city, I got you. We've crunched the numbers on employment rates, income levels, business opportunities, and economic policies, and also talk to people to determine the top 10 best cities for African immigrants in 2025. Before we dive in, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another critical conversation like the one we're about to have. Okay, so first of all, let's set the stage, right? African immigrants are one of the fastest growing and most successful immigrant groups in the U.S., no question about it. According to the Migration Policy Institute, over 2.5 million African immigrants now reside in the U.S., although that number is much, much larger if you add the second and third generation populations, U.S.-born children and grandchildren of African immigrants. The median income for African immigrants is around $48,000 to $55,000, and that's on par with or even higher than some native-born Americans. More than 25% of African immigrants hold a bachelor's degree or higher. That's right, a huge factor in securing high-paying jobs. And entrepreneurship is booming. African immigrants have some of the highest business ownership rates among foreign-born populations, starting successful businesses in everything from food and beauty to tech and real estate, many of whom I've had the privilege of interviewing on my Make Your Mark podcast. But here's the thing, where you live matters, especially in the current climate. Some cities have better job opportunities, better job markets, better immigrant networks, better support for small businesses, and policies that enable you to thrive. So, if you're looking for financial success, job security, community and belonging, and more, here is my list of 10 cities you should be looking at. Okay, so starting with number 10, we have St. Louis, Missouri, the future immigrant hub. Why St. Louis? Well, there are 5 reasons. A city actively recruiting immigrants. St. Louis is one of the few U.S. cities with an organized initiative to attract immigrants as a strategy for economic growth. The International Institute of St. Louis has launched a plan to bring in 15,000 immigrants by 2030, recognizing that new residents can help revitalize neighborhoods, fill labor shortages, and boost small business growth. Number 2, affordable housing and cost of living. Now, compared to other major cities, housing prices in St. Louis are significantly lower. The median home price is around $200,000, which is much lower than cities like Atlanta or Dallas, making home ownership more attainable for immigrants who are looking to build long-term wealth. Additionally, the overall cost of living in St. Louis is about 15% below the national average. Number 3, a growing job market. While St. Louis isn't traditionally known as a job hub, industries like healthcare, education, tech, and manufacturing are expanding. Companies such as Boeing and Express Scripts provide steady employment, and local policies support job creation. Number 4, support for entrepreneurs. So St. Louis has a growing immigrant business community, particularly in industries like food services, retail, and logistics. The city offers grants, mentorship programs, and networking opportunities to help immigrant entrepreneurs start and sustain businesses. And number 5, strong African immigrant community. The region has established Sudanese, Ethiopian, and Nigerian communities, providing cultural support and resources for new arrivals. So if you're looking for an affordable city with opportunities to grow, start a business, or buy a home, St. Louis is a promising choice for you. Moving on, at number 9, we have Jersey City, New Jersey. That's New York City without the price tag. Why Jersey City? Number 1, affordable alternative to New York City. Living in New York City comes with sky-high rent and expensive living costs, but Jersey City offers a much more affordable option while keeping you just minutes away from Manhattan. With a lower cost of housing and living expenses, you get to enjoy the job market and business opportunities of New York City without breaking the bank. Number 2, easy access to New York City's job market. See, Jersey City is only a short train ride away from Manhattan, meaning residents can take advantage of New York's booming industries, finance, tech, healthcare, and media without paying New York prices. This makes it one of the best cities for African immigrants looking for high-paying jobs while maintaining a lower cost of living. Number 3, thriving Black and African business scene. Jersey City is home to a growing number of Black-owned and African-owned businesses, including restaurants, hair salons, retail shops, and professional services. The city has seen a steady rise in minority entrepreneurship with support from business development programs and networking opportunities for immigrant entrepreneurs. Number 4, diverse and welcoming community. Jersey City is one of the most ethnically diverse cities in the United States, with a significant African and Caribbean immigrant presence. From Nigerian and Ghanaian communities to Senegalese and Ethiopian businesses, the cultural richness of the city makes it a welcoming place for newcomers looking for familiarity and community support. And number 5, access to resources and opportunities. The state of New Jersey has strong immigrant-friendly policies, including business grants, housing assistance, and access to legal resources for immigrants looking to establish themselves. So if you want the economic and business opportunities of New York City without the overwhelming cost of living, Jersey City is a smart choice to consider. At number 8, we have Richmond, Virginia, affordable and entrepreneur-friendly. So why Richmond? Number 1, lower cost of living, higher quality of life. Richmond offers a much lower cost of living compared to nearby Washington, D.C., while still providing access to thriving job markets and economic opportunities. Housing costs in Richmond are nearly 50% lower than in D.C. That's right, making it a great option if you're looking to buy a home or start a business without sky-high expenses. Number 2, strong job market and economic growth. So Richmond has a diverse and expanding job market with major industries including finance, healthcare, education, and tech. Large employers such as Capital One, Virginia Commonwealth University, and Bon Secours Health System offer stable, well-paying jobs. Additionally, the city's strategic location along the East Coast makes it a great hub for logistics and trade, opening up job opportunities in shipping and transportation. Number 3, booming entrepreneur scene for African immigrants. Richmond is home to a growing number of African-owned businesses, from restaurants and retail shops to professional services and real estate ventures. The city has several business support programs tailored to minority and immigrant entrepreneurs. Growing and supportive African immigrant community. Richmond's African immigrant population, particularly from countries like Ethiopia, Nigeria, Ghana, and Sudan, has grown significantly in the last decade. The city has established cultural organizations, African churches, and community groups that help new immigrants adjust and thrive. So if you're looking for a city that offers affordability, business opportunities, and a growing African immigrant community, Richmond is an excellent choice to consider. At number 7, we have New York City, the Big Apple, land of opportunities. Now, you know this list would be incomplete without the Big Apple. But why New York City? New York City has the largest African immigrant population in the U.S. It is home to the highest concentration of African immigrants in the United States, with large communities from Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, Guinea, Mali, Ethiopia, you name it. Neighborhoods like Harlem's Little Senegal in Manhattan, the Bronx, and parts of Queens are thriving cultural hubs where new immigrants can find community, resources, and businesses that cater to their needs. I mean, you can literally smell goat soup and jollof rice from the streets of the Bronx. Endless job opportunities in key industries. If you're looking for work, New York City is one of the best cities for African immigrants in fields like finance and banking. With Wall Street in Manhattan, New York City is home to some of the world's biggest banks and investment firms, offering well-paying jobs for those in finance and business. Media and entertainment. New York City is the center of TV, film, and publishing, providing opportunities for African creatives, journalists, and entrepreneurs in the entertainment space. Healthcare and tech. The city has top hospitals, research institutions, and tech startups, creating high-demand jobs in medicine, IT, and biotechnology. And the list goes on and on. A global hub for business and entrepreneurship. African immigrants in New York City have built a thriving business community, with many owning restaurants, fashion boutiques, hair and beauty salons, grocery stores, and real estate ventures. Cultural vibrancy and African influence. New York City's African cultural scene is unmatched, with a huge African food scene from jollof rice spots in the Bronx to Ethiopian restaurants in Brooklyn. Annual festivals like the African Day Parade in Harlem celebrating African culture, music, and businesses. Religious institutions, many mosques and churches cater specifically to African immigrant communities. The challenge? High cost of living. While New York City is full of opportunity, it's also one of the most expensive places to live in the U.S. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment is over $3,000 per month, and daily expenses like food and transportation add up quickly. This means New York City is best suited for those who are in high-paying careers like finance, tech, or medicine, run successful businesses with high revenue, and have multiple income streams to manage the cost of living. So in a nutshell, New York City is one of the best places for African immigrants to build careers, businesses, and cultural connections, but it requires financial planning. If you can secure a high-paying job or build a profitable business, New York City offers limitless opportunities to thrive. As they say, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. At number 6, we have Minneapolis, St. Paul, the heart of the African community. Why Minneapolis? It is the largest Somali and East African community in the U.S., with significant Ethiopian, Eritrean, and Liberian communities. Thriving African-owned business community. It has one of the highest rates of Black and African immigrant entrepreneurship in the U.S., with many immigrants owning restaurants, retail stores, trucking businesses, real estate ventures, and tech startups. High home ownership rates among African immigrants. African immigrants in Minneapolis have one of the highest home ownership rates in the country. Job market and economic opportunities. The Twin Cities have a strong job market in healthcare, education, manufacturing, and transportation. And there is a growing demand for bilingual workers in education and healthcare, especially those who speak Somali, Amharic, or Oromo. Affordable living compared to other major cities. Now, while not the cheapest city in the U.S., Minneapolis has a lower cost of living than places like New York, D.C., or Los Angeles. So the takeaway is, if you are seeking a strong market with business support programs, the Twin Cities is a great option to consider, especially if you are East African. At number 5, we have Charlotte, North Carolina, the banking and finance capital. Why Charlotte? Top banking and finance hub. So it's home to Bank of America and Wells Fargo's East Coast headquarters. Charlotte offers high-paying jobs in finance, fintech, and business. High Black and African home ownership rates. It has one of the highest Black home ownership rates in the U.S. with affordable housing and first-time buyer assistance programs. Booming business and entrepreneurial scene. 24% growth in Black-owned startups with grants, mentorship, and business loans available. Thriving industries include real estate, trucking, and beauty. Growing African immigrant community. Large populations from Nigeria, Ghana, Ethiopia, and Cameroon are flooding there, plus strong community networks and cultural organizations. Fast-growing job market. Expanding tech, healthcare, and logistics sectors with major employers like Atrium Health and Duke Energy offering strong job security. Lower cost of living versus other finance hubs. Unlike New York City or San Francisco, Charlotte provides big city job opportunities with a much lower cost of living. So the takeaway, Charlotte is perfect for African immigrants looking to build wealth through high-paying jobs, especially in finance, home ownership, and entrepreneurship, all with a lower cost of living and strong community support. And at number 4, we have Dallas, Texas, the rising economic giant. Why Dallas? It is one of the fastest growing job markets in the U.S. Dallas has a booming economy with major industries like finance. Many banking and investment firms are expanding here. Healthcare, hospitals, and clinics are hiring African professionals in nursing and medicine. Tech. The tech industry is growing rapidly with companies like AT&T and Texas Instruments headquartered in the area. Lower cost of living. Housing and daily expenses in Dallas are more affordable than New York, D.C., or Los Angeles, meaning your money stretches further. Texas has no state income tax, allowing residents to keep more of their earnings. Thriving African business community. Dallas has one of the fastest growing Black and African immigrant populations, leading to an increase in African-owned businesses. Many African immigrants run restaurants, retail stores, trucking companies, and real estate firms. Organizations like the Dallas Black Chamber of Commerce support Black and immigrant entrepreneurs. African community is growing by over 50% in the last decade. That's right. The African population in Dallas has skyrocketed in the past 10 years, creating strong cultural connections, places of worship, and social organizations for newcomers. So the takeaway, Dallas is a booming city with a strong job market, affordable living, and a growing market business scene, making it a top destination for African immigrants seeking financial success. And at number 3, we have Washington, D.C. metro area, the political and business powerhouse. Why Washington, D.C.? Well, it has one of the highest median incomes for Black professionals. Black households in D.C. have a median income of around $80,000, significantly higher than the national average. High-paying jobs in government, finance, law, healthcare, and consulting makes this a strong economic hub. Diverse and thriving African immigrant population. D.C. has one of the largest Ethiopian, Nigerian, and Ghanaian communities in the U.S. Many African immigrants work in professional careers, own businesses, or engage in politics. Strong job market in government and tech. D.C. has the highest concentration of government jobs, making it a stable job market. The city's tech and startup scene is growing, offering opportunities for young professionals. Support for immigrant entrepreneurs. D.C. has programs that fund and support Black and immigrant-owned businesses, such as the Mayor's Office on African Affairs. So the takeaway is Washington, D.C. is a top choice for African professionals and entrepreneurs, offering high salaries, business support, and a strong African immigrant network. Okay. At number 2, we have Atlanta, Georgia, the Black business mecca. Why Atlanta? Well, it is home to over 2.1 million Black-owned businesses. Atlanta leads the U.S. in Black entrepreneurship with a supportive business environment for African immigrants. The city has numerous Black business incubators, funding programs, and networking groups. African immigrants are thriving in real estate, tech startups, beauty, and retail industries. Strong Black middle class and high medium income. The median household income for Black professionals is over $65,000, which is one of the highest in the U.S. Many African immigrants secure high-paying jobs in corporate headquarters, film, production, and tech, a growing tech and business hub. Home to Fortune 500 companies like Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, and Home Depot, Atlanta is a prime location for corporate professionals. The city's booming tech industry offers opportunities for African immigrants in IT, cybersecurity, and software development. Top-tier educational institutions and HBCUs. So Atlanta is home to renowned historical Black colleges and universities like Clark Atlanta, Spelman, and Morehouse, creating an educated and connected Black workforce. Cultural and entertainment capital for Black America. Atlanta is the center of Black culture, music, film, and entertainment, making it a great city for African creatives, musicians, and business owners. So the takeaway, Atlanta is the best city for Black business owners with a thriving economy, high incomes, and strong cultural identity, making it a top destination for African immigrants. And finally, at number 1, we have Houston, Texas, the economic powerhouse. Why Houston? It is one of the largest African immigrant populations in the U.S. Houston has a massive African immigrant community, particularly among Nigerians, Ghanaians, Ethiopians, and Cameroonians. With over 200,000 Nigerians alone, it has one of the largest Nigerian populations outside of Africa. That's right. Now, the presence of African cultural centers, churches, mosques, and businesses makes it easier for new immigrants to integrate. Thriving job market and low unemployment rate. Houston's unemployment rate is below 4%, which is lower than the national average. Key industries hiring immigrants include energy and oil, healthcare, technology, and engineering. Affordable cost of living. Houston is far more affordable than cities like New York, D.C., or Los Angeles, making it easier to rent, buy a home, and start a business. As I stated, Texas has no income tax, which means you keep more of your earnings. Strong business and entrepreneurial support. Houston has a thriving Black business community with organizations like the Greater Houston Black Chamber of Commerce providing funding, networking, and mentorship. And many African immigrants have started restaurants, trucking companies, beauty salons, and real estate businesses. Amazing African food scene. Houston is known for its authentic African food, with restaurants offering jollof rice, suya, fufu, and egusi soup. The city's African grocery stores and markets provide easy access to familiar ingredients. So, the final take here, Houston is an economic powerhouse offering jobs, affordability, business opportunities, and a strong African community. So that's it for the top 10 cities for African immigrants. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. What do you think of the list? Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one. Take care.